Welcome back to Grandma Sims. Be sure to grab the house from the gallery to decorate along with me. Let's make it fun, cozy, and creative. So today we're going to work on our robotics lab. We're going to have 2 robotics labs in this building. The robotics labs are going to be very sterile, very white, very lot of metal surfaces, very clean. That's how I imagine robotics labs would be, and that's what I wanted to do here, especially in this old factory. Making something that would be, I don't know, the opposite of what this old factory is. So we're gonna start with these. So concrete floors, very cleanable. They don't emit, so that you're grounded when you're working with electronics. And that's what we're going to do. Along with these robotics labs, we're going to be putting in the bathrooms, the downstairs bathrooms for the customers or guests or whatever you want to call them. So we're going to move over. I got inspired with this little space here. This is kind of where my inspiration started. Originally, I didn't know what I was going to do with this little space, but then it just sparked, which happens. Doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, it's good. And this was good. So I'm going to put the shower, or not the showers, I'm going to put the sinks out here, not in the bathrooms. And the reason I was thinking that was, if this was an old factory converted into a space for this new high-tech playground, I'm going to call it, the bathrooms might not have been the right size for everything needed to do this conversion with the factory. The owners, when they converted it, they needed to do certain things with these bathrooms. So that's why the sinks end up out where they do. Now the bathrooms are going to also be very high tech, very shiny, very clean. Think of the bathrooms as everything in there is motion censored. The sinks are motion censored. The lights, the toilets, the doors open by themselves. Very high tech. That's what I'm thinking with these bathrooms. So I'm also thinking with these showers, we're going to put showers in each one of these. I'm thinking that before you go into the robotics lab, you need to shower and put on a clean suit, one of those white linen or paper cloth clean suits. You need one of those to work in the robotics labs. Do the Sims do that? No, of course they don't. They're just going to walk into the robotics lab and play on the robotics machines, but that's what I'm imagining for my gameplay purposes, is that they're going to come in here, take a shower, get suited up, and then go off to the robotics lab. I'm also imagining these bathrooms have heated floors. The toilets, I'm putting those smart toilets in that you can talk to. They greet you when you come in and analyze what you've been doing in the bathroom, which is creepy as all heck. But I think they're actually, I'm going to Google this because I heard a thing. I don't know if it's true or not. It's probably just a rumor, but I heard a thing that they either have invented or they are inventing a toilet that plays ambient sounds or music or something of that nature that covers up the sound of the business that you're doing, so that it's not easily, heard throughout the whole bathroom. Would be nice. Creepy as heck, but it would be nice. I think, of course, it's starting in Japan. Seriously, I need to Google that though. Now that's gonna bother me. So I'm gonna look that up. But I think that is gonna be a thing. But there's a lot of things happening in the bathroom department, I guess you want to say. I don't know how you want to say that. So of course, with the showers in here, this is another activity you can include. It's not one that I was counting on including in an activity for this lot, but you certainly can. So this bathroom, or this shower, I should say, the shower part of the bathroom kind of bothered me where it was. I moved it over. It works either way. I just moved it over so that they were both on the ends and the toilets were in the middle, which it works either way. It's more of a me thing than anything. It's a symmetrical thing. Yep, that's my OCD. There it is, showing up in all its glory. I don't know, I'm going to check on this, but if these toilets are self-cleaning right away, or if you have to upgrade them to self-cleaning, but I would totally do that, because that would be totally better. That would be part of the vibe of this room, would be everything being self-cleaning. So there isn't going to be much in these bathrooms. Like I said, very clean, very sterile. No windows, no curtains, no plants. Very boring. Nothing wrong with boring, but it works. Okay, it works in my head. Putting in some, I'm just going to put in some sanitizing bath or shower gels, some toilet paper, just your basics in a bathroom. And then I know there's that, I did have a terrible time with this, and I did find it eventually, but there is that picture from Strangerville of the guy suiting up. He's suiting up in yellow, obviously, but I imagine it, again, being a white, clean suit. And you'll see that. I will find that eventually. Took me a while. These mats, I'm also believing that they're the rubber mats for, electronic purposes. You want to be grounded. So the rubber mats under feet keep you grounded. I believe that was it in the bathrooms. Like I said, there is not much in there. But now we're moving out to this sink area. I'm going to put all the sinks in here. I'm going to close this off just because I thought it looked more, I don't know what I want to say. I don't want to say built in, but definitely built in, but intentional. So you just have to build a little wall here, put the columns in, and put the spandrel in, and then you have this little sink area. Again, a little rubber mat. We're going to put in the sterile hand sanitizer, some paper towels. I wish we had, because we're using paper towels here, which is the opposite of sterile, but I wish we had those hand dryers. The hand dryers here would be perfect for this application. We'll just have to use our imagination. Some nice sterile industrial lighting for this area. I think it turned out cute. And I think in this application, in this factory build, this turned out good. This turned out really good. There's that poster. See? He's wearing yellow. Just have to imagine that he's wearing the white suits that I was talking about. That's on the wrong wall. Put that on the right wall. That goes over here next to the lockers. The lockers are for, you know, changing your clothes, getting into your white suit. Now I did put a sign up here. It's not the one I wanted, and eventually I will find the one I want. We'll change that out. This sign works for what I was going for with the whole washing your hands and being safe. But there is another sign that you'll see that I liked better. We'll go put that in. So we're going to move on to our robotics labs now. I did put 2 in. And I'll tell you why. The room is big enough originally to put 4. And you could definitely put 4 of those robotics in here. I didn't, a couple reasons. I didn't want, there's going to be so many activities in this building. I didn't want to limit having the Sims just in these 2 rooms, if that makes sense. I only put 2 in there. So what I'm hoping when I play test this is that maybe a couple Sims will be in here, maybe doing robotics, and then like the rest of them in the rest of the building doing other activities that we have. That's my hope. I'm going to have to play test that part of it to find out. So there is plenty of room, as you can see. I put in one here, and you can put another one opposite that. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to put in some cabinets on the other side. And I think that works also as far as in these rooms. Of course, I went with clean, sterile. These rooms are the same. I can imagine, I mean, nowadays, everything, I mean, a robotics lab is not out of the question. A lot of tech campuses have them. A lot of tech companies have them where they're experimenting. You know, they're prototyping for drones. They're making AI assistants, and, you know, in the movies we already have, you know, robots. Those things are coming. There's refrigerators now. They send you a text message or an email or something that says you're out of milk, you're out of cheese. They make you a grocery list of things you need to go to the store and get. I don't know if I need that much reminding in my life, but I do need that much reminding in my life, so it goes both ways. The Sims here, they should be able to practice on the robotics tables. They can build their servos, robotic arms, make a robot that does my laundry for me. That would be great. Especially then something I'm going to have to do later today is laundry. This is just a teleprompter or a TV with the information on it for, you know, building the robotics, something they're working on doing. That little tool set sitting there on the counter, I thought, I don't know if they would use that for robotics, but I thought that's also something that would have been left over from the factory vibe. These fans in the ceilings here, to keep the fresh air flowing in these labs. Also industrial, so that would have been kind of a leftover. Is that one backwards? I hope I didn't leave that backwards. Are you seeing that? I'm seeing that. That's backwards. Crap. Yep. Huh. I wonder if I realized that or if I didn't. Okay, so you're watching and you're building. Don't do that, because that one is clearly backwards. Now I'm going to have to go look. I'm going to have to fix that. You know that's going to drive me insane. Anyway, those are for fresh air, and once you fix them, they'll work properly. Wow, we just kind of went off on a little tangent there, didn't we? You could take this Robotics Labs to a whole new level. Oh, see, there's the hand sand. That's the sign. See with the hands on it? That's the one I wanted. Anyway, you could take this Robotics Lab to a whole mad scientist genius level if you wanted to get out all of the stuff from Strangerville, that glass tube that you can put things in, all of the lab equipment. You could totally go mad scientist with this thing. Not the vibe I'm going for in this building, but I have done the mad scientist thing in a couple houses. I did a couple houses of my own, where I built a mad scientist lair in the basement. It's fun. It's awesome. So it's totally, you could do that here, and that would work also. Your Sims respond to a well-decorated environment, so they would respond to that. So this is just some things that I thought would be around the lab. I know that this here with the computer on it is, I think that's from the sound stage, but appropriate for this application also. It's just a computer. I put some diplomas up there on the wall for whoever worked here, earned some of their degrees in programming, robotics. I think we actually have robots building robots, so that's a thing too. How much do you love that little wheelie cart? Oh, thing is so cute. There's some more clutter. I don't know what those are. I know those are from Get to Work, so I think they're from the hospital, maybe? I don't know what I was going to do with that. We'll find it out later. So again, more things that are metal, sterile, the sterile clock. Put the cameras in to keep an eye on the Sims working in here. We don't want them to blow up the place, or they will have a tendency to get zapped when they're working on these. So, maybe somebody's keeping an eye on that, so that they don't really want Sims dying on this lot, so let's keep an eye on them so that they don't. So I know this might have been a little too sterile, a little too white, but that's what this part of the build is, and I think it's appropriate for this space. So I hope you like it. And I hope you're gonna keep going with this build. Lots more fun stuff coming in this build. Next is gonna be the computer lab. We're gonna have a loft for the owner, a video lab or a video space. all these great things coming up that I really think you're gonna find that you'll love in this converted factory, in this space. And a lot more activities for your Sims to do in hobbies and businesses, because that's what this build is all about, is hobbies and businesses. Opening this up and having your Sims come in and do all of these activities. That's what this is going to be about. Yes, smoke detectors. I remembered smoke detectors. Yay. So just remember, keep it creative, keep it cozy. I'll see you for the next build.